Not gonna lie, Cody. As we started the show, I looked into the video feed. Hello, Cam. Welcome into the show today. As I looked in, though, I saw myself in the button down because we had some meetings today, and I guess I had to look semi-professional. You know me. Usually, it's shorts, a t-shirt, some flip flops coming into the studio, but I got like boots on, leather shoes, and
Birkenstocks,
yeah.
Birkin,
They're like the double banded
the Jerusalem
leather.
Cruisers. Yeah,
Yes, the double banded slides is usually what I'm rocking in here. But today you got the button down on, some jeans, and some leather boots. And I was like, hey, I got to look semi-professional. But as I looked at myself in the screen, I'm like, who is this guy? I don't. I feel like Cam. I have to like support all the unwritten rules of baseball. Like I absolutely believe you should hit a player if he does a bat flip, and you should fight if they do that. Like I feel like that's what I feel like I am. Like I want to go change in the break and like put on a t-shirt so I can come back in here and give my millennial takes.
you look like an adult. You look like you're gonna go apply for like a home loan or something like that.
Or like deny somebody's home loan.
Ooh.
Yeah, like that's what I feel like in these clothes right now. But we do have a lot to get to today on the show.
Oh, happy Tuesday, guys.
Happy Tuesday to everyone. It was not a happy Monday night as the Braves blow a lead to the Miami Marlins, or the Florida Marlins, as Kevin likes to call them. Braves fall to 4-6 on the season last night. Just kind of a clunky game all last night. Ronald Acuna was Ronald Acuna. He hit a triple. My man scored on a pop out to second base. So Ronald Acuna kept everything going, but just when you needed guys to execute last night for the Atlanta Braves, they were not able to come through in the final few innings. In the bullpen, again, really struggling. Minter, who's a guy who last year in the playoffs and in the beginning of the year had really been one of your top 2 or 3 bullpen guys, gives up 2 earned runs and can only go a third of an inning, right? And then you get another amazing performance by Ynoa, where he goes another solid 6 innings, gives up just a couple of earned runs, or gives up one earned run there, and then the rest of the bullpen kind of falls apart there at the end. Go to extras, can't get it done in extra innings again. The Marlins able to push across a couple runs, and then you're not able to get your guy home from second even. So you fall eventually 5-3 to the Marlins. But Max Fried on the bump tonight. Usually you feel like that's a guy you can throw out there and you're feeling really confident getting a win. But Max Fried, through 2 starts, has only gone 7 innings and currently has a 9 ERA. First start of the season was great. Not overly efficient, but he went 5 innings, only gave up 2 earned runs. It was the start on the first game of the doubleheader against the Nats where he really struggled, got pulled after just 2 innings in that one. So the Braves getting it going again tonight against the Miami Marlins. We'll, of course, have all the coverage for you coming up a little bit later following 3 and Out. But I want to dive into some different conversations today. ESPN has released their FPI polls, the Football Power Index, which is one of the more ambiguous and abstract polling systems out there. Like we have S&P Plus from Bill Conley, where he'll pretty much tell you everything that goes into it, right? He'll tell you the stats and how much he's simulating this and where he's pulling the stats from and how he's contributing to the S&P Plus. So you know that. Then there's different power rankings that we get when we get closer to the season. But FPI from ESPN, fairly ambiguous, and there's some surprising teams in the top 10. We'll dive into that in a little bit, but something that we've missed. Howard Schnellenberger passed away recently, a guy who is I think a college football titan and a guy we've had on the show before. Really, I think if you're just talking about college football in general, I think one of the more important coaches of the last 40 years. And the reason I bring up Howard Schnellenberger is the fact that we're having a lot of Hall of Fame discussions, right? Julian Edelman recently retired from the NFL, so we're talking about Hall of Fame for him, and that brought us to the conversation of what is the criteria to being in the Hall of Fame. And I wanted to go to the College Football Hall of Fame first because I think they do themselves a disservice. If you go to the College Football Hall of Fame website, I want to start by saying this. I fully support 99% of what the College Football Hall of Fame does. They honor the sport I love. The actual College Football Hall of Fame in and of itself is amazing. The virtual experiences they have, going in there with Ben and BJ, it's a beautiful place, and they're always willing to reach out and help out with stuff we're doing. But just some of the restrictions they put on themselves. If you click on the College Football Hall of Fame website and go to the qualifications, the first sentence you see under the qualifications is players must have been named a first-team All-American by an organization that is recognized by the NCAA when they're putting together their consensus All-American list, right? So to even be considered for the Hall of Fame, you had to be a first-team All-American. Not a second team, not a third team. You had to be a first-team All-American to be considered. That leaves out guys like the SEC's second leading rusher ever. Does anyone care to hazard a guess who the second leading rusher in SEC history is?
Nick Chubb?
Nick Chubb is correct.
Pick at me.
Above Falk, above Bo Jackson, above Darren McFadden, above literally every other player or every other running back in SEC history behind Herschel Walker. Nick Chubb's there, but because he was never named a first-team All-American, he's not eligible for the College Football Hall of Fame. Again, you put an unnecessary restriction on yourself, so now you put that rule out there, and you know in your heart of heart Nick Chubb's a College Football Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't put him in there because of the rules you established. Another absurd rule that they have, and this is why I brought up Howard Schnellenberger. For those of you who don't know Howard Schnellenberger's history, was the offensive coordinator for the undefeated Miami Dolphins, still the only undefeated team in NFL history. I think you can pretty much say the most famous team in NFL history, like
1972, right?
Yeah, the preeminent team when you talk about NFL history. I mean, they still like do they like in all the NFL Super Bowl commercials, they're always like hanging out in all their undefeated jackets over there, right? He was the offensive coordinator for that team. Again, an undefeated Super Bowl champion NFL team, right? He was the guy who recruited Joe Namath to Alabama. I mean, I think that was a pretty good job right there, getting him down to Tuscaloosa. But more so than that, and the reason I think Howard Schnellenberger is a Hall of Famer is because he was a program builder, right? He revived the Miami program and created, I was listening to Mike Ryan on the Le Batard Show podcast talking about this. He created the state of Miami is what he called it, because before that, Ohio State's, Notre Dame's, Alabama's, all these other schools, and they still do to some point, but back then especially, all of the great college football players were leaving Miami, going to places like Florida, right? And just going north and not staying down in South Florida. He created the state of Miami and won the 1983 national championship against Nebraska when Nebraska, back then you didn't have national championship, quote unquote, games, but you had bowl games, and pretty much whoever won that game was going to be the national champion. Tom Osborne elects to go for two, and they don't get it. Miami wins the national championship, and that starts the run of what we now consider Miami football, right? Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Sean Taylor, like all these guys the next 20-odd years that come through Miami before they kind of fell off in the mid-2000s. Howard Schnellenberger started that. You don't have Larry Coker and Jimmy Johnson and all those guys at Miami as the head coaches without Howard Schnellenberger, right? He went to the USFL, didn't work out. I don't know that his team actually ever materialized in the USFL. Okay. But after that, comes back and revitalizes a Louisville football program that was about to die, right? And let's think about Louisville since then, right? You had a Heisman Trophy winner in Lamar Jackson not too long ago. Teddy Bridgewater is a starting quarterback in the NFL, and all these other great players they've put out there. He revitalized that program and brought it back out. Another great story about that one, he literally kicked Mick Jagger out of the weight room at Louisville. He said, "Who the hell is this guy in my weight room? Get the hell out of here." And then his coaches were like, yeah. The guy's like really rich. And he's like, "What are you talking about really rich?" He's like, "No, that's Mick Jagger. That's like the biggest superstar in the world." He's like, "So he's rich, and he like wants to hang out here? All right, I'll go talk to him. I'll let him spend some money on the program." And there have been reports about Mick Jagger talking about Howard Schnellenberger later, saying, "Yeah, the dude horrifies me because he's just a giant football guy, and Mick Jagger's the little rock star, and he's get the hell out of my way room. Get out of my way room," right? So it's just another unbelievable story. But he goes, restarts the Louisville program. We know what it is now, right? An extremely profitable program, I had to assume, right? Because a member of the ACC, and they're getting some pretty good payouts out of that. And then he goes and starts the FAU, like from the ground up, starts the FAU football program, right?
Yep.
And wins the 2007 Sun Belt title. In his career, he was 6-0 in bowl games, never lost a bowl game. But all of that being said, because his career record was 158, 151, and 3, he's not eligible to make the College Football Hall of Fame because head coaches have to carry a .600 winning percentage to be eligible for the Hall of Fame. And there's other, again, unnecessary restrictions that they put in there, like you have to be a head coach for 10 years. You had to have been a head coach for at least 100 games. Bud Foster from Virginia Tech is 1,000% a College Football Hall of Famer. What he did with that Virginia Tech defense for years, I would say Brent Venables at Clemson is absolutely working his way towards that legacy. I mean, think about it. He put 4 defensive linemen in the draft. I think, 3 first rounders in 1 year. In 1 year, right? I think he's absolutely in multiple national championships. I think he's absolutely working his way to that. But like Bud Foster at Virginia Tech, he's not eligible to be in the Hall of Fame because he wasn't a head coach for 10 years. Like, it's just the NFL, the only rule is you have to be out for 5 years before you can be eligible. After that, fans can write in whatever player they want to, and then it goes to the 25 different, no, is it 32 different representatives? I think I have to look it up, but it goes to the different representatives, and I think they go to the different representatives and narrow it down to a list of 25 nominees. And so you can send whatever player you want to, Cody, your favorite team, your favorite player from the Broncos 5 years ago, you could write him in, and then it goes to a selection committee. Our good friend D. Orlando Ledbetter from the AJC is the Atlanta representative in the Hall of Fame selection committee. It goes to that committee. They narrow it down to 25, and then you get the what's his name, Cody? The big older dude who like walks up and knocks on the door and tells everybody you've been elected to the Hall of Fame. But it's
always sweaty and stuff like that.
But because you don't put any arbitrary restriction, like it's not you had to be an All-Pro 5 times, or you had to be elected to the Pro, or you had to be voted to the Pro Bowl, right? None of that's there. You didn't have to have a winning percentage. We elect you because we understand the game of football, professional football, and we know who the Hall of Famers are. We have these different people out there, these writers, and these national media members who cover the team, who are part of the selection. That's how we do it. Whereas college football, the College Football Hall of Fame, which again, I love and I respect because they have started something that is becoming historic. It's located in downtown Atlanta. But why put these arbitrary restrictions on yourself that are going to keep truly great people out of the Hall of Fame? Like, I know we're can be a Georgia-centric show because of where we're located, but I think Aaron Murray, right, SEC's all-time leader in passing yards, I think we should at least have a conversation about that, but he's not eligible. Go ahead.
48-person selection committee.
Okay. So 48 different people narrow it down to 25 per year, and then that gets narrowed down from there to your Hall of Fame inductees right? And that's what we get. But, I mean, Cam, I look at that in the College Football Hall of Fame, and I just think, why are you putting these restrictions down there? And Kevin, just trying to play devil's advocate, said he's like, well, when you start the College Football Hall of Fame, there's so many years, so many different teams that have played college football throughout the years, so many great players. You need to have like a number out there where you can narrow it down, or a factor out there where you can narrow it down. And I say, why? If you're going to be the College Football Hall of Fame, where you are saying you are the bastion of this sport, you are going to be the gatekeepers of what is defined as greatness in this sport, then why are you going to limit yourself in defining that, right? Why are you going to allow another media organization like the AP, when they release their All-American team, to decide who you view as a Hall of Famer? I mean, to me, Cam, the All-American thing is nuts because there are 130 FBS programs, and every year you can only have 2 All-American running backs, first team. And so if you are a truly great running back for 3 years, but you just happen to run up against the Heisman Trophy winner or whatever trophy you want to say for the running back positions, you just happen to run up against him, then a guy who maybe just has 1 great year in college. And that's what happened to Nick Chubb. You just run up against guys who have 1 great year in college. Meanwhile, you are amazing for 3 years. 3.5 really, because he got hurt in a year. I think he was averaging like 8.6 yards per carry before he got hurt against Tennessee. Howard Schnellenberger, Cam, starts programs. He's a program builder, and when you start a program, it's not going to be good. But the fact he's built these up into what they are now, you're leaving him out because you put some unnecessary number out there. I don't understand the point of that from the College Football Hall.
Me neither. Before today, I didn't even know all this. So that's crazy that you're even saying this now because I didn't know all this at all. I'm just thinking if you're good enough to qualify, you qualify. Nick Chubb was one of the best running backs in college football history. Like you said, before he got hurt, he was going to win the Heisman. And then the year Todd Gurley got suspended, he was on pace to win the Heisman just playing 8 games. That right there, that's a college football Hall of Famer. And there's other guys that I'm sure that's missed out, but it's kind of a stupid rule. You have to make first team AP, and it's so many. It's over thousands of players, and basically only 2 every year makes first team.
I would be curious, Cody, to go back and look at all the quarterbacks who are great, but were never first team All-Americans, right? Who played phenomenally throughout their careers, but were never considered a first team All-American, and they've been left out, right? A wide receiver, I don't know how many you get on the All-American team, 3, maybe 4, but how many truly great wide receivers do we see?
Especially lately.
Think about 2 years ago, you had just in one game when you had Alabama against LSU, you had Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Terrence Marshall, what? Now I'm just like blanking on names. Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, and Jerry Jeudy. Thank you. You had 6 dudes.
Yeah. Like 4 of them are missing out. That's
in
crazy.
One game, right? And if you can only have 2 or 3 wide receivers, you're missing out. Meanwhile, you have Kyle Pitts doing stuff down at Florida at a tight end, and there's great tight ends all over the country. I just think if you are going to be the bastion of college football, if you are going to be the people who, like I said, are going to be the gatekeepers of what is defined as greatness in college football, because that's what the Hall of Fame is. Kevin says it all the time. Is it the Hall of Fame or the Hall of Very Good? Who is this player? Should he be in? If I'm going to be able to decide that, I don't think there should be any rules or any set standards I have to, maybe like in the personality side of it, like you have standards you have to uphold as a person. I can understand that, but in terms of on the field, I think if you are in charge of making these decisions for the College Football Hall of Fame, you should be able to decide that yourself if you're truly going to be there.
I got one right now. I just looked up. Ray Rice played for Rutgers. This dude ran for 4,900 yards.
I think maybe a lot of that has to do with some of the off the field stuff.
You just got to do just football play, man. 4,900 yards in 3 years. But again, he's not in there. He's not All-American.
But the NFL and College Football Hall of Fame, and I think most Hall of Fame say you have to carry yourself off the field as well.
Joe Montana is also not in the Hall of Fame. He was a great college football quarterback.
Yeah, I mean that would be another one.
A.J. McCarron.
I don't know if A.J. McCarron is a College Football Hall of Famer. Love A.J. McCarron. I would qualify him in the same realm.
What about David Carr?
Fresno State? Maybe.
Jim Harbaugh, Chip Kelly, both of them?
Neither. No.
Okay.
Again, I'm
just going down a list.
But I'm very strict on Hall of Very Good. None of those guys I think are College Football Hall of Famers.
Okay. Oh yeah, big one. Everybody knows this one. Reggie Bush. Oh yeah.
He was never a first team All-American.
No, he got in trouble. Remember, and I think he can't do it.
The scandal where he had to give his trophy back. Again, that more so than on the field stuff is off the field stuff. Like again, Ray Rice. Outside of the All-American, I guarantee you if Ray Rice ever had an All-American award, he still wouldn't be in the College Football Hall of Fame right now because of what happened off the field with the domestic violence. Like that is a big reason. We got to take a quick break here though. We went a little long on this. We'll dive into some FPI and some more Braves talk when we come back. Julian Edelman, Hall of Famer, I'll let these guys debate that when we come back as well. Christian Gokel alongside Cody Queen and Cam Ursher. We'll be right back after this. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source. Glad you're hanging out on this Tuesday afternoon. I got some Hall of Famer nod to dive into here. We're just a one-player edition because we had a big retirement yesterday. Also want to get into Mel Kiper's mock draft 5.0. He put that out today. Basically, half the SEC has spring games coming up this weekend. I mean, guys, we couldn't spread that out a little bit. We couldn't share the love a little bit. We got Alabama, Georgia.
Can't do it.
All the 7 of the teams all on the same day. Couldn't spread out the love. But we'll catch up with Robbie Weinstein from 247 Sports. He covers Vanderbilt for them. They also have their spring game. First chance to see the Commodores under Clark Lee. That's coming up at 3:35. But I wanted to dive into this FPI real quick because ESPN released it. And I'm going to read through verbatim as to what ESPN vaguely has released what FPI means. It's a measure of team strength that is meant to be the best predictor of a team's performance going forward for the rest of the season. The rankings are based on 20,000 computer simulations. The FPI predicts how many points below or above average a team is. So the starting number is 0, right? The FPI predicts how many points below or average the team is. For example, Alabama comes in first at 28 points better than average. Mississippi State checks in at 16.2. Colorado is as close to average as any team in the country at 0.4. So I'm just going to read through the top 10 and see if you guys are surprised by any of them. Number 1, Alabama. Don't think anybody's shocked by that. Number 2 is Oklahoma. They have them FPI ranking at 26.6, offense ranked as the number 1 offense in the country. Number 3 is Clemson. Number 4, and this is where it starts getting weird, Iowa State comes in at number 4 in the ESPN FPI. Ohio State comes in at 5. Texas A&M comes in at 6. Georgia comes in at 7. Mississippi State comes in at 8. Oklahoma State at 9. And Penn State as 10. Now, to go along with this, they've also put out some projected win totals, playoff chance percentage, etc. Alabama's projected win total 11.1. Georgia's projected win total 9.5. They're putting Georgia at 9.5 this season, and I think basing that saying if you play, you're going to play Clemson and Florida, but if you play Clemson, Alabama, and Florida, we're going to say you guys are going to lose at least 2 of those. So saying they're probably going to lose to Clemson and that they would lose to Alabama if they played them. Georgia's win total is at 9.5. Their playoff percentage is at 17%, whereas Alabama's is 76 and Oklahoma's is 73. I mean, Cam, I agree with Alabama. I agree with Clemson. And the rest of that, you can keep your computer models.
Yeah, I think they're basing Georgia off of losing Pickens. They have to be doing that. But I mean, I can't get mad at them saying we might lose to Clemson, Alabama, because based off our track record, that's what Georgia does.
You might. They're saying you will is what I'm gauging from this.
It's no shoe-in, but based off the track record, I mean, that's what Georgia does. They lose a game in the regular season, go in the SEC championship, lay an egg. But to put Iowa State and then Mississippi State, yeah, I don't
know where they're getting. Mississippi State's good. I don't know where they're getting number 8 in the country good.
I don't get where they're getting top 20 good. They weren't even that good last year. So, dang, to number 8. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe they might shock the world next year, but I ain't really like the rankings.
And I don't think FPI factors this in, but like usually Mike Leach's teams do a lot better in year 2 than year 1. But I don't think at any point in the season we'll see Mississippi State ranked number 8 in the country. I could be completely wrong. Bulldogs fans out there, feel free to tweet me at GoKillESPN and tell me how wrong I am when you guys, I guess, get a top 10 ranking. Iowa State's interesting. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact they have a really dynamic running back and a really dynamic quarterback. They come in at number 3 in the offensive rankings. They have Georgia way down at number 12 in the offensive rankings for the FPI, and they have Georgia's defense coming in at 4, which is pretty surprising to me. I get the front 7 is going to be dominant for Georgia, but we still don't know what that secondary is going to look like. But that's just ESPN put the FPI out today. You can check it out on ESPN Plus. Quickly here, guys, too, I want to get into Julian Edelman. Announced his retirement yesterday from the NFL, a 3-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP when they beat the Rams. 620 career receptions, 6,822 yards, 41 total touchdowns, 118 postseason receptions, and 1,422 postseason yards. That's good for second in the Super Bowl era behind only the GOAT, Jerry Rice. So I put the question to you, Julian Edelman, Hall of Fame or nah?
You want to go first, Cody?
Yeah, I'll go first. I will go first. Yes. First ballot, you said?
No, just Hall of Fame or nah?
Yes.
Like
Not
one
first
day
ballot,
will
a
Julian
decade.
Edelman have a bust with his fade and beard in Canton.
Yes, it might take a while. He might be an old guy. There's some old guys that get in, but I feel like it's going to take a while. Minimum. I really think it's going to be 10 years.
It's going to be at least 5.
Yeah, I think for him, minimum is going to be 10. It's going to take a minute. I know you were saying before the show, the longer it takes, the harder it's going to get. It's going to be hard for him. It's not going to be easy for him. But I think he's going to get in. It's going to take a while, man. He's going to, by the time we see him again up there with the busk, he's going to look a little older. I don't think it's going to be a first ballot, but I think, yes, he will be in the Hall of Fame, and it's going to be a struggle even if he does get in it.
Cam?
100% agree. Hall of Famer. Yeah, if you could put Eli Manning as a Hall of Famer, Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer. He has 3 Super Bowls. And then when you're in the same conversation as Jerry Rice for longevity, as far as what you've done in the postseason, yes. But first ballot,
season, baby.
No. Yeah, no first ballot, but he'll get in the Hall of Fame though.
Cam, how many NBA rings does Mario Chalmers have?
Yes, 2.
And is the reason he has 2 rings because he's Mario Chalmers? Is the reason he has 2 rings because he played with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade?
I give you that he does, but Julian Edelman has a Super Bowl MVP. Mario Chalmers doesn't have a Finals.
Well, I mean,
MVP.
like, has LeBron won the NBA Finals MVP in every Finals he played in?
Yeah.
Every single time he's played in the Finals, he's won the Finals MVP.
Every single time. 4 times.
I just
boom, backfire.
No, it's not really a backfire because I mean, still, like Mario Chalmers has 2 NBA titles and he's Mario Chalmers. Like, I guarantee you, there's like what's it, Slater that plays for the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
The
returner,
the special teamers guy, never going to be a Hall of Famer. I think he has more rings than Julian Edelman. So you could keep the ring conversation. I get it. To me, more so than anything, it's
not just the rings, it's the production during it.
Well, right, the postseason stuff, right, where you look at his stats and it's just behind Jerry Rice. If you're number 2 to Jerry Rice in anything, that's a really good indicator that we need to pay attention to you. To me, though, he's the Hall of very good. He's the Hall of I was Tom Brady's slot receiver for 11 years, right? Like I got to play with the GOAT for 11 years. My stats show that. I won 3 Super Bowls in that time. I won the Super Bowl MVP. But to me, Julian Edelman, much like Kevin says, was never one of the top 3 wide receivers in the league at any time. There was never a season when Julian Edelman was one of the top 3 players at his position.
Slot receiver he was.
There's never a season in which he was one of the top 3 players at his position. Never.
Yeah.
And Cam, one of the more damning things to me is he has like half the career yards as Hines Ward, and Hines Ward's not a Hall of Famer. Stephon Diggs has played 6 seasons, and he's only 600 yards behind Julian Edelman. And Stephon Diggs is not a Hall of Famer.
Are you saying Hines Ward would never get in?
I'm saying he's getting tougher and tougher every year that Hines Ward isn't in.
I think eventually he'll get in.
I think you're way more optimistic than I am.
I am.
I if there was a separate category for playoff Hall of Famers, Julian Edelman's in it. But this takes into account your production as an elite player in the regular season and in the postseason. I think as a postseason receiver, he was unbelievable. He has one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history, that catch against the Atlanta Falcons. But I mean, if you want to put him in the Atlanta Falcons villain Hall of Fame, sure.
You said you weren't going to bring that up.
Throw him in there. That's fine. He can be a member of that Hall of Fame. I don't think Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer. I mean, I think he's amazing, but I'm also one of the people like.
Oh, my argument is not getting better. I looked up his stats. He's only got 3 years over 1,000 yards.
Right, and again, he is what he is. He was Tom Brady's safety valve for multiple. Look up how many receiving yards James White has.
Oh man,
because like I mean, James White has been amazingly deadly out of the backfield for Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, but I don't think James White is a Hall of Famer. Right? Yeah. Is Rob Gronkowski a Hall of Famer? Absolutely.
For White for receiving yards? Let's see.
taking our time here on the show today.
He definitely
Receiving
won't be
yards
first
period,
ballot.
nah,
though.
he doesn't have a whole bunch of
Well,
yards.
what is his total yards?
Total yards receiving?
No, total yards, period.
Total yards receiving, he has 3,100. Oh, no, he has quite a bit of
Yeah, as a
yards,
running back.
As a running back, yeah.
And like he scored the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. Like I think, like if anybody has an argument outside of Julian Edelman, it might be a guy like James White. Look, Julian Edelman was really good. He fit what that offense needed him to do for multiple years. But I mean, Wes Welker, you forget before Julian Edelman, Wes Welker was just as deadly in that Patriots offense before he went to go play with Peyton Manning in the Broncos, right? Like he was unbelievably deadly. Old 8'3", running across the middle like 5'8".
I
right?
feel bad for him. He went to multiple Super Bowls and didn't win one.
Right, but I'm going to say no on Julian Edelman as a Hall of Famer. But hey, what do I know? It's 2v3. So I mean, if it was a fan vote, he'd be in according to you two guys. We got more to come here on Second Down. We'll dive in to some more of the Braves talk when we come back here. Also, we have to dive into Mel Kiper's 5.0 mock draft as well. He has the Falcons just boneheaded move. We'll dive into that when we come back right here on Second Down. Cam, quickly here, I just want to address this real quick. Some news coming out of the ACC today. Boston College has signed a 10-year apparel deal with not Nike, not Under Armour, not Adidas, not even Puma, not Reebok, not Russell. You ready to rock the white dad shoes, Cam, like the white with the blue, the grass cutters? Boston College has signed a 10-year deal with New Balance.
Let's go.
Get after it.
Oh my gosh, what's up with New Balance?
Cam, you are a connoisseur of shoes. Do you own a single pair of New Balances?
No, I do not.
Yeah,
Oh, the
not
judgment coming from this man's
I'm just
face.
ready. I'm just ready to see a coach on
nothing wrong with New Balance.
blue jeans with white New Balances on.
Yep.
It's a little bit of
They gotta
grass,
have a little bit of
grass stain.
stains.
Yeah,
Yep.
a little bit of grass stain on them. So yeah, Boston College fans, get ready for a decade to be rocking the New Balances coming up. Mel Kiper Jr. put out mock draft 5.0. This usually is when the mock drafts start getting absurd because you don't change them for what you think they're going to do. They start clickbaiting at this point to try to get you to click on their latest mock draft. And Mel Kiper has done that once again. So Mel Kiper, first pick, of course, is Trevor Lawrence. Second pick, obviously, Zach Wilson. Number 3, he has Mac Jones. And I've seen a lot of people flip-flopping between Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and Trey Lance there. Number 4 is where it gets interesting. I saw the Falcons trade back. I was like, all right, let me click on this, see what's going on. Falcons trade back, trade with Miami. So they swap the 4 and the 6, move back a couple spots, pick up some draft stock, which is weird to me, I guess, because like how much is Miami really keeping after trading back from 3 and then trading back up to 6 and then trading back up to 4 is confusing to me. But hey, it's mock draft season. Has the Falcons trading out, Miami selecting Kyle Pitts at 4, Penei Sewell goes 5, Justin Fields still on the board, Falcons take Trey Lance.
Oh my god.
Go ahead and let Fields slide to the Broncos, baby. Let's go.
He has mock draft in this mock draft. Micah Parsons, number 9 to the Denver Broncos. Justin Fields sliding all the way to 10, where the Patriots trade up and grab him.
Dude, don't let the Death Star keep on rolling. We don't need this.
Up to 10. And then he says in here, new general manager George Patton's. Look, first of all, Cody, the fact that the new Broncos general manager's name is George Patton.
Yeah, I'm running through a wall for this guy. Running through the wall.
Is he wearing like the was it 5-star on his helmet?
On his helmet. Oh yeah.
And he's just sitting there with the big American flag behind him as he's
Didn't he used to like carry the cane, stuff like that?
Yeah,
and be like, oh yeah.
He's like, listen, no Bronco ever played this game to die. And you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Freaking halftime he comes up.
He played to make the other team die.
Yeah. What do you say? Nuts.
Yeah. I don't know if that was Patton. I think you're misquoting a different general
from
World War II. And you're an Army veteran.
Yeah, it was whenever the 101st was surrounded.
Bastogne.
And
don't do this, Cody. Don't do old guy World War II history with me right now.
Nuts. We're not surrendering.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
1000%. But we're not doing Band of Brothers recounts right now. We're
God, I love America. Man, I love America. Dude.
Cody, quit trying to skip the fact that you have a new general manager named George Patton.
And even more.
Let me get to the rest of the sentence. George Patton's offseason moves seem to point to the Broncos sticking with Drew Lock.
Shut up, dude. I don't want to hear this crap no more.
Yeah, Cody. Yeah, Cody. QB1.
He's just a Paxton Lynch 2.0.
Listen. We're looking at the entire team. Justin Fields is still on the board right now. We have a plethora of people we can go get right now. Man.
I'm going to be a free agent next year. My fandom.
Wow, you're going to give up on the Broncos?
No, I never will. It's a pain. Them and the Magic.
Even when they take Trey Lance or Micah Parsons?
Go Broncos.
That was pretty weak. That's how I say go Falcons.
That's how I feel. It's been 5 years removed from the Super Bowl, and we haven't made the playoffs.
At least you got a Super Bowl.
We got 3 Super Bowls, been to 8, baby. Let's go.
I was about to say, I mean, the Falcons fans, we'd be good for like 20 years if we won 1.
Them days are long gone.
Oh, yeah. Had we won just that one Super Bowl, I would have cared what we did.
That's all you wanted.
Dan Quinn, coach for life. It's fine.
We actually beat you guys in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Chris Chandler, Jamal Anderson. I remember watching that game.
We had Terrell Davis, John Elway,
Yeah, Terrell Davis had like
big dogs.
200 yards rushing in
Eddie
McCaffrey,
Rob Smith,
Steve Atwater.
Baby. Yeah.
Lit.
We were the days are gone, dude. We're not going to go another Super Bowl. We suck. As long as John Elway is
literally
running the team.
won one since then.
I don't. Yeah,
and went to another
At
one.
least you have one.
Yeah, we did.
At least you have one.
We've been to Super Bowls. I think we've been to the second most. I've been to 8 Super Bowls. I know that.
I don't know,
but we've lost 5.
That's true because
Mhm.
the Patriots have been to more than you.
I think that's it.
The Steelers have probably been to more than you.
The Steelers have pretty much won every single one.
49ers have probably been to more than you. Cowboys. Look up most Super Bowl appearances there.
Who's been to the most Super Bowls? Yeah, New England 11. Like I said, we're second most. Steelers, Cowboys, Broncos.
Oh, they're all tied.
8. Yep.
Okay, so technically not wrong, which is the best way to be.
It's okay. No, I'm not wrong. You don't have to say technically.
No. Well, like, we're both like technically not wrong because I said
San Francisco 7, Washington football team 5.
Wow.
Yeah. Green Bay's 5 also.
There you go. So you had some World War II talk in that
It's all history.
And
today,
we did
guys.
some NFL Super Bowl talk right there. Yeah, again, the mock drafts at this point are just trying to get you to freak out because they know you're itching because you're just a couple weeks away from the draft. They know you're freaking out at this point, and so they're like, Falcons make bold move, and they know you're going to click on it. All they want your ad dollars. Listen, your phone's already listening to you. When you say like you're looking for a new vacuum cleaner, and then you pull up Facebook and there's like 17 ads for vacuum cleaners, your phone's already listening to you, and now they're just trying to get your clicks onto their mock draft.
I got a question. First overall, Trevor. Second overall, Wilson. Third, Mac Jones. If they're not trading out, who you getting for?
Justin Fields.
I want to hear. Okay.
Yeah, no, I've said I have said this. I have said this. I don't think the Falcons
Not
should trade out of 4. I think there's 3 players sitting there that you can build around going forward. If Justin Fields is still there, grab him. I'm not picking Trey Lance. If another team wants to prove me wrong about Trey Lance, that's fine. If Trey Lance goes on to be a Hall of Famer, all-pro quarterback, wins 4 Super Bowls, fine. I can live with that. Moving on to a guy who has started 14 college football games. The other quarterbacks on the list of quarterbacks who have started less than 20 games in college is like Mitch Trubisky. I think Kyler Murray's on that list. Matt
Jones barely got out of it.
Ryan Tannehill is another guy on that list. Like if somebody else wants to prove me wrong with Trey Lance, that's fine. But if Fields is still sitting there, take Fields. If he's gone at 3, then I'm taking Penei Sewell or Kyle Pitts.
Cam, you are a Fields guy also, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm all in 110%.
No, Mel Kiper, who has Justin Fields falling to number 10 in his draft, has said repeatedly that he is the second highest graded quarterback behind Trevor Lawrence, according to him.
Exactly. That's what I'm confused about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys don't like my pick anyways.
No, Cody has us reaching for Patrick Surtain at 4.
Surtain.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, Cody. I'm coming out with my mock draft this week.
Cowboys or something.
You guys aren't going to do it. You guys are going to make a smart move. You guys are going to do something that's going to stir up the quarterback room and all kinds of stuff.
Which move would be bad out of Justin Fields, Penei Sewell, or Kyle Pitts?
Neither.
I would rather have Kyle Pitts out of those. Penei Sewell.
No, but answer the question. Which one of those moves is bad?
I don't like the Justin Fields pick. Your boy's still in there. You're just going to stir up.
No, I mean Justin Fields sits for a year.
Is that quarterback controversy? I mean,
it is because you're giving him a timeline.
Aaron Rodgers sat behind Peyton Manning or not Peyton Manning, Brett Favre for 3 years.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a year and a half.
Yep. A year and a half,
and Alex Smith got hurt.
Yeah.
Hey, I like it. Justin Fields is not coming in and starting
out.
Tick tock, tick tock.
Oh, get the hell out of here. We gotta go to break. We'll come back. Final segment next. Big show coming up today on 3 and Out. We'll catch up with McLean Baxley from the Savannah Morning News. Georgia Southern just had their first scrimmage of the spring coming up on their next one on Saturday, and then they'll have their spring game coming up on the 24th. So we'll break down the quarterback battle with McLean, what the defensive line rotation is going to look like. Is J.D. King ready to take that next step as the running back, the lead dog for Georgia Southern coming up in 2021 as they try to get to the Sun Belt Championship game. Also going to catch up with Robbie Weinstein coming up. He covers Vanderbilt for 247 Sports. First appearance for Clark Lee as the head football coach for the Vanderbilt Commodores coming up on Saturday as they have their spring game. Get a chance to see what Vanderbilt is going to look like heading into this season. Ben said it yesterday, their goal for the year, see if you can maybe upset Tennessee and try to not be the worst team in the state. All that coming up on 3 and Out. Also have Braves coming up for you a little bit later. Max Fried, guys, looking to get back to his winning ways from last year. It's been a rough start for Fried. Goes 5 innings, gives up 2 runs in his first start, and then last time out, just in that 7-inning doubleheader, gets pulled in the 2nd inning. So hopefully a little bit better appearance for Max Fried coming up tonight. The Braves trying to get back in the win column as they've now lost 2 in a row. Christian Gokel alongside Cody Queen and Cam Ursery. Glad you hung out with us on this Tuesday afternoon. BJ Bennett, Ben Troop, Kevin Thomas coming up on 3 and Out. You can listen live right here or on ESPNCoastal.com.